am not here to simp much. This is a public autopsy and Stolas is the corpse with which I have on display for you today. Not because he is noble or lovable, but because he's a goddamn walking tragedy. You can hate the writing, you can hate the show, you can hate me, but everyone has their own opinion on what makes a good story. This is mine. Regardless of your feelings on whether Helluva Boss is a greatly written story or a flaming hot mess of wasted animation budget, I'm here to argue the fact that Stolas is the best written character within the story, good or bad. Now, do I have my biases? Fucking of course I do, but since when was being a hypocrite with an opinion illegal? Blitz keeps the story interesting, but Stolas pushes the plot forward. But hey, I welcome you to argue who you think is the best written character in the comments below. Is it the themes around Millie, Moxie's character growth, Luna's deep complexity, all the fucked up shit going on with Blitz? I'd love to know. But if the mere thought of this video's existence triggers you, if you are here simply to hate watch and be an overall negative vibe, ew, go away. There are quite literally better things for you to do with your time than engage with media that pisses you off. Come on, bestie. The Gaslight District just came out. You can watch that. Oh, there's a new theme song for Farfetch. There are things you can do to bring you joy. Don't engage in things you hate. Please. Find things that bring you joy, unless being a hater is what you enjoy. In which case, you know what? Game recognized game. But whatever, I'm probably already talking to thin air at this point. And the people who need to hear this have already left their hate comment and bounced. Thanks for the view, regardless, I guess. But to the poor unfortunate soul still remaining in the audience to hear me out, thank you. I will force positivity into this space with a blunt force object if I have to. We will be happy or die trying. Can I get an amen? Ugh, that was so cringe. But speaking of cringe, quick pause before I spiral. Merch plug. If you love Helluva Boss, check out my merch store below. New Stolas sticker just dropped. Okay, thanks, back to the video. Stolas' entire character is absolutely drenched in themes, symbols, and allegory, and a lot of it completely flies over the fandom's head, which is irritating to say the least, but I'm gonna break down a few of them for you here. Here's one that you may not have noticed. At the earliest point in the timeline when we see Stolas, he wakes up surrounded by toys but gets devastating news by the end, and Blitz is there to comfort him. Now in his old age, at the latest point in the timeline, paralleling to waking up in Blitz's toys to devastating news, with Blitz there to comfort him as well. In both scenarios, horrible things happen to him beyond his control. In the first, he gained Stella. In the last, he lost Octavia, which I believe is the central core theme of his character. The parallels of what he wants versus what he has. Ever since a very young age, he wants Blitz, but he has Stella. And because of his want for Blitz in his old age, he doesn't have Octavia. What he wants, needs, and has are always at war with each other, and picking one is at the detriment and cost of the other, regardless of what it may be. He wants happiness, but he needs freedom, but he has responsibilities. Wanting Blitz, having Stella, and losing Octavia are a sick cosmic joke the writers have thrusted upon Stolas with the cards he's been dealt, as the order on which he obtains things is inconceivable to allow other fruitful endeavors to occur, because he could have Octavia and Blitz, but because Stella is there, that is not an option, and he can't just dump Stella because that was a responsibility thrusted upon him. So again, his wants, needs, and desires are all never in alignment, and that shit drives me up a wall. But hey, I'm feeling charitable today. It's not a dictatorship, it's a conversation. Maybe you have a different take on this. Maybe your perspective of Stolas' wants, needs, and has, or desires, are different, and I'd love to know what they are, because this was difficult for me to categorize, and I realized different aspects of his life could slide into different slots. Like, instead of Octavia being what he lost, Octavia could be what he needs, and he has to have Stella to keep Octavia whom he needs in his life. Blitz is always a want. He is forever in that category. You cannot move him. But again, love to know your thoughts on this. But moving on from that, there's also a prevalent theme of consequences that hang over the main couple of the show's head in a way that is just so deliciously ironic and tragic. Blitz and Stolas are constantly in a never-ending cycle of paying for their own and other people's consequences. Wait, no, that's not right. Pain? Action? They're paying for the action of other people's consequences? They're paying for the consequence of other people's action? You know what I mean. This isn't a Blitz video, mind you. That's why I'm solely focusing on Stolas. But let me know if you want a Blitz version of this video. I've never been a Blitz fan. You all know this. But I'm more than happy to give it a try. Because that season 2 finale did numbers on this adorable fucking red salamander. So on to the consequences for Stolas. Unlike Blitz, who gets a quick consolidation of consequences back to back, Stolas gets his in one fell swoop, and his is the long con, where all of his actions come crashing down on him in a catastrophe of epic proportions, almost mirroring how Blitz's life crumbled due to one seemingly meaningless action of shoving someone that butterfly effects into ruining his entire family and killing his mother. Same as Stolas performing a careless action that no one in his circle of world would bat an eyelid at, cascading into a butterfly effect that ruined his entire family, costing him the love and relationship with his daughter. Regardless of the class divide Stolas clearly has with Blitz, he almost went through the same struggles in near identical ways. Careless action, butterfly effect. Oh, hey, look at that, your life is ruined now. But I'll tell you right now though, me personally, I'd rather be burnt and scarred for life than have all my magic and wealth brutally ripped away from me. I can survive being scarred and disfigured. I cannot survive being poor. And anyone who disagrees with that is a liar. You saw what they were gonna do with Luna. Being hot can only take you so far, but money can buy you love and attention. Just look at Maman or Elon. I know I'm dancing around Stolas' relationship with Octavia and Stella a bit, not because I don't want to dive into it, but because I have a will to live, and the last time I talked about this chick, I was public enemy number 1 for a good few months. So consider this my spiteful, willful, malicious compliance to ignore, never speak about, unless absolutely necessary, and leave Octavia alone that y'all have been screaming at me to do. You are free to talk about her in the comments, but I won't. Right after this one final time, sorry, but I can't help it. The daughter parallels go absolutely crazy and it needs to be pointed out. But after this, no more Octavia on this channel. You have my word. Stolas cherishing his daughter in the exact same way, having more of a connection to her than Blitz has to Luna at the start of the show, but losing her while Blitz keeps and grows a stronger bond to Luna is absolutely diabolical work. Luna hated Blitz, in quotations, more than Octavia hated Stolas, but the wildly different outcomes of both situations leave me floored. And Stolas can't even use the excuse of having a shitty dad, so did Blitz. But while Stolas subconsciously tried his best to do by his daughter, I can't even English anymore, he still fell into the same traps of his father, failing to give his child what they need. Stolas needed freedom from the control of his father's expectations, but Octavia wanted truth and honesty. Do you see the needs, wants, and has parallels? I am going insane. Luna needed safety and stability, and that's what Blitz did his best to provide her. Stolas didn't give Octavia what Octavia wanted. He gave Octavia what his child self would have wanted from his parents: unconditional love and freedom. That's why Octavia is almost 18 and Stolas hasn't forced a marriage partner on her, and she only recently started her magic lessons, whereas young Stolas was given his book and a future wife before his age had even hit the double digits. Baby Stolas wouldn't have cared if his father lied to him. Hell, all his relationships are based on false pretense. He knows Stella doesn't love him. He knows Blitz just tolerates him. But having his father's love and support to do whatever he wanted was what he deeply wanted, and projected those wants onto his own child, effectively dooming himself to repeat that inevitability. On the flip side, Blitz finally got a break and got lucky enough that what he wanted and what Luna wanted aligned perfectly, and he finally got a win through sheer cosmic luck. The first. Blitz's wants and needs tend to, most often than not, align with one another. It's just Blitz that gets in his own damn way. However, Stolas needs to get in his own way to align his own shit, cause Stolas Forcing himself to stay with Stella for Octavia's sake was just a self-sabotage that eventually became a ticking time bomb. If Stolas had taken initiative and grown a damn spine, his relationship with his daughter would have been in a much healthier and more honest place. Stolas needs to recognize he's an adult now and doesn't have to do anything that he doesn't want to for other people's sake. But he's allowed himself to be a backseat passenger in his own damn life and allowed other people drive that vehicle off a cliff. And regardless of all that, he still has no one else to blame but himself. Except under office. You can only blame life circumstances for your shortcomings so much till you have to own up to you allowing all that bullshit to happen before you hit rock bottom. But now that Stolas is already there, he has nowhere else to crawl back to but up. Tragedy, divinity, inclinivity, I'm just saying words at this point. It's beautiful, it's tragic, it's the best the show has to offer so far in its themes and parallels and interconnectivity between the characters, and this is the hill I will happily die on. Are there any other soldiers in the audience willing to be buried here with me, or do you have a different take? Again, I welcome it. If you still hate me after listening to this entire video, I love you, honestly, because you sat through this whole thing. You are a beautiful person and you do not deserve to be filled with such hate and malice. I hope you have a good day and a good life. Maybe get some therapy, but you're doing good, boo. To those who actually like me, love you too. Have a nice day. Don't forget to drink some water. That's the video. Thank you for watching. Mwah. Bye.